6 harsh truths about actually getting lean. I'm assuming you already know most of the tactical stuff. This is the no BS side nobody wants to talk about, because there are some harsh realities about what it actually takes to get lean and stay lean, and almost nobody puts real thought into this side of it. Let's get into it. My name's Alex. I help women from all over the world transform their bodies, get leaner, stronger, and less inflamed through an anti-inflammatory diet, healthier lifestyle habits, and workouts anyone can do no matter how busy they are. Truth 1. Whatever timeline you have in your head, double it. Social media sells 6-week transformations and gut cleanse glow-ups. But if we're talking about lower body fat with real defined muscle, not just smaller, that takes way longer than 8 to 12 weeks. Our best client transformations typically run from 6 to 12 months. I think of a client who spent the first stretch just getting her calories back up because she'd been under eating, then spent 11 months focused purely on building muscle before her second fat loss phase. And that's when her body composition actually became something else entirely. Most people give up long before that because they treat it like an event with an expiration date instead of a lifestyle. The shift that actually works: stop asking, how do I get through this 6-week diet? And start asking, how do I build something that lasts forever? Truth 2. Data over feelings. Just listen to your body is great advice for someone whose intuition around food isn't broken. But if you've been stuck for a while and you're just going off a feeling that you're doing all the right things, you need actual data to know if that's true. Without tracking at some point, you're guessing. And guessing is what makes people start blaming genetics or hormones instead of looking at what's actually happening. Tracking isn't meant to be forever. It's a tool for a season, not for a life sentence. But that season is what teaches you what your body actually needs, so that eventually listening to your body becomes accurate instead of a guess. The one metric I'd say is worth tracking consistently, long-term, is your weight. People who weigh in regularly are significantly more likely to maintain their results over time. And doing it consistently actually desensitizes you to the number instead of making it something you fear. Data doesn't mean panicking over a 2-pound overnight swing. It means looking at the trend over weeks and using that trend to make real adjustments instead of shooting in the dark. Truth 3. You need real awareness of the cost of inaction. Motivation runs out, consequences don't. If you never skip and build muscle, you're setting yourself up for real risks later in life. Bone density loss, falls, all the things that come with aging without strength. That's a real consequence, and reminding yourself of it can be more motivating than chasing vague "someday I'll feel better" energy. The biggest illusion most people operate under is believing they have time to figure this out later. You have the least responsibility and the most time you'll ever have right now. Life only adds more: kids, career, relationships, responsibility. Waiting doesn't make it any easier, it makes the runway shorter. Ask yourself honestly, a year from now, if nothing changes, are you okay with that? Most people's biggest regret isn't that they pushed too hard, it's that they didn't start sooner. Truth 4. Your circle matters more than you think. You can have supportive friends and family who still aren't on the journey with you, and that gap matters. Community changes everything, not because you need cheerleaders, but because being around people chasing the same thing normalizes the behaviors that otherwise feel weird. Tracking food, waking up early, ordering differently at a restaurant. There's actual research on this. If a close friend becomes obese, your own risk of obesity rises by 57%. That's not a small number. The people closest to you shape your outcomes, intentionally or not, simply because they'll often prefer the version of you that's easiest for them, not the version that's best for you. That doesn't mean cutting people off. It means being deliberate about who you surround yourself with, especially when you're trying to change. Truth 5. All or nothing thinking is the #1 thing that kills progress. This mindset is why most people never finish what they start. The opposite of all or nothing isn't giving up halfway, it's sustainability. Your all isn't always 100%. Some weeks it's 60%, especially during busy seasons, postpartum, high stress periods, and that's fine, as long as 60% doesn't collapse into 0%. Messy, imperfect action beats a perfect plan that never gets executed. The people who get furthest aren't the ones waiting for the ideal plan, they're the ones who keep stepping forward, learning from missteps along the way, and treating setbacks as lessons instead of failures that erase all progress. Truth 6. Long-term results come from identity, not effort. You could do everything right tactically, but if you still see yourself as the person who's always struggled with weight or someone who's never able to keep results, it won't stick. You don't get lean by trying to get lean. You get lean by becoming someone who simply lives that way. It's the classic be, do, have order. Become the person who already has the results. Act from the identity. and the outcome follows, not the other way around. This shows up in language, not I'm trying to eat better, but I eat this way. Not I can't have that, I'm on a diet, but I don't want it. Small shifts, but it changes whether the behavior feels temporary or like a person you actually are. The same principle behind quitting, smoking, or drinking applies here. The shift happens when you stop saying, I'm trying to quit, and start saying, I don't do that anymore. If any of this hits home, don't try to overhaul everything at once. Pick the one truth that feels like your actual weak point. Focus there for the next 90 days. This stuff compounds, but only with time. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments which one hit hardest, and if you want help putting all of this into a personalized plan to transform your body and your lifestyle. For more information on how to work one-to-one with me, click the first link in the description. I'd love to help you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.